this eventually throughout the day. That's one thing I do know. Hello? Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Is anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? There should be somebody out there. There should be somebody out there. There should be somebody out there. But you know what? The show must go on. So therefore, my good people, welcome to the KTNG Morning Show. And I am your deliberate host and impresario, the G to the R to the I to the T to the Z, Zesty, underneath the 101 freeway all day. That's right. And if you don't believe me, you can look beyond the door because I service everything underneath the corridor. That's right. From Crenshaw, Inglewood, Baldwin Hills, you might get a pass. Watts, Compton, downtown LA, South Pasadena, and East LA to bring up that ass. We are the voice of the voiceless, and therefore we make the choices to speak out to you. And you have to use your voices in order to get what you need in order for it to happen. Now, in many cases and so forth, a lot of you guys are probably like looking at, my Facebook. My connection is horrible just because I'm on wireless here. And that means when they start chopping up my wireless and everything, that means that, yes, I do have to pay the bill. Okay, that's what it is. So I try to extend it and everything. Also, but if you're looking at me on YouTube and so forth, that is your best bet. So get to YouTube at this present time and pull up the KTNG Morning Show, and you can actually see me live. Okay, so I don't have any problems with that. You guys can look it up and so forth and see where I'm at. We are sponsored by the Latino Chamber of Commerce at Compton, and also I'm going to try something a little bit different here and so forth, and I'm going to wish everybody good morning right off the bat. Okay, how about that instead of waiting for you guys at the end? So here we go. Good morning to Jaquana Mason, Zulu Jara, let's see, Lazaronas, okay, Gusto Alejandro, Carlos Papanois, okay, Angeli Marie Monet, much love to you, dear. I Divine Zulu, Sarah Rip, Diona Berry Bears, hey, how you doing? Chuck Daggers, what's up? Good morning, my man. Sergio Martinez, Don Perry, Brian O. Parker, come back here and run Compton, please. Okay, I got a whole bunch of initiatives you need to look at. And also, Godiva Love, Super Lover Virgo, what's up? Happening, babies. Alrighty. So I'm live here on Facebook. So if you can see me, you can see me. If you can't hear me, or if it seems choppy and so forth, it'll play better once it's already recorded. Okay, so that's getting that out of the way. So basically, I like to start the thing, my whole thing off with like, what in the hell happened to my ass, or what's happening in my morning. Okay, so in that sense, yesterday was a great Meet the Funders conference. It's the second one. I didn't go to the first one, but I went to year number 2. So this is my first one I actually went to, and I got to meet a lot of nonprofit funders. The speakers there were, I would say, immaculate. But here's the thing. Here's the growing trend there, fellas. They're all women. Okay, they're all women. This whole thing is all women and everything. And I don't know if anybody could actually see this or not, but I watched the whole thing, experienced the whole thing. And what is it? Hold up. Let me get this information here. 9th District Council member, current price was probably like, the only guy in the whole thing that, had a speech about how he was going to take non-prophecy to a better level. Okay, and that forth. This is something you people in Compton need to understand. Okay, you have council members that are only in it for their own pockets. They're not in it for their community. They're not in it to help non-prophecy. They're not there in it to help small business. They are only there to make money off of you. Okay, and by now you already should know this if you've been living there for the last 30 minutes. Dime Bar Minor, good morning. How you doing this morning? Okay, as people show up on Facebook, I do sit up and announce these sort of things, but I make sure that these things are recorded so that way everybody can actually get a chance to hear them later. Okay, so this will be on later on at 1 o'clock. I doubt seriously if I'm going to be able to do what I'm supposed to do here with this thing, but I'm trying so badly to see where this goes. I don't know what happened to my sound or anything of that nature, but I am recording even as we speak. All the noise that you hear in the background is exactly that noise. And I had a good breakfast this morning, so I'm feeling pretty challenging today. So anyway, let me chill back here for a second and whatnot. Let you guys in on a little secret here. One of the things that I do admire mostly and so forth is when I see people who we all walk in the same walk of life, go through the same problems and the same drama, okay? And they're able to raise themselves up, okay? Able to raise themselves up with prayer, due diligence, and never giving up. I don't know the word quit, okay? So I've never heard it in my life, okay? I don't know what the word stop means. So I can't stop what I do, and I'm not going to quit what I do. But I am going to make sure that I have a legacy of what I've done here today, what I'm doing now, what I'm doing for my fallen homies who were once avid about putting together a bootleg radio station only to be shot down. Okay, for the ex-partner and so forth who didn't want to do the damn work and so forth, fine. Hate me all day, homie. Hate me. But here's the thing. I'm not going to stop for you. I'm not going to stop for anybody out there. And I am definitely going to keep this going until my last breath. Like any other good MC, you keep the microphone going until all your competition is waxed in front of you. That's how we kill it, kids. So if you don't understand how to hold the mic, this is how you hold the mic. All right. Not like this. Okay. Not that Keith Sweat, Patti LaBelle hold, or that, okay, the Lou Rawls 2-finger shimmy, okay, being MC, cuff the mic so everybody can hear you, okay? It just looks cooler that way. You know what I'm saying? It looks cooler that way. Okay, but most importantly, we got to look at some good issues that have been going on as of lately, okay? And one of the cooler issues and so far is that, and I've been peeping this out. I don't know how this actually happens, but, weirder things have happened. Weirder people have done things and so forth. So, I do have to wish my girl, Erica Neal. Okay, Erica, Miss America. A happy birthday, Erica Neal. One of my good friends and so forth that we used to work at Beachbody. Hey! Yes, good morning, boo. Okay, super moms, I understand that. Oh, good morning, Jaquan. Good morning, crate digger. Yes, whoop that ass, because people are putting, dates and times and so forth on what hip hop is. You know something, KRS One said it first. Hip hop was a fad. Now look where we are. We control most of the media. We control most of the ebonics that are being used unofficially. We never got props for our ebonics. Okay, Whitey took their ebonics and went a whole different direction with it. Okay, and so we started hitting them more with more knowledge, more conscious things and so forth to make people realize that yes, we do have a language and therefore it will be indoctrinated in Webster's dictionary, thesauruses around the daggone world. Okay, so there. If you don't think hip hop is not ruling the world, check your resume. Okay, check the resume. Okay, the world leaders owe Africa Bambaataa a Nobel Peace Prize for the work his institution has been doing, and only until my boy gets like about 700 years old, that's when they're going to actually award it to him. And that's going to be a travesty because one, why wait so damn long? Okay, so I had to say that. I had to get that off my chest this morning because I think the world basically is just a bunch of crap when it comes to like recognizing blacks doing good things. Okay, only until when when blacks in America do get like Nobel Peace Prizes, sometimes we are shot at. Okay, check the resume. Again, check the resume. All right, there's no sense in all that crap. Just check the resume. Okay, so here's one of the cooler things and whatnot that I like doing, and that is like going over like yesterday's news and and one of the biggest things that needs to happen in this country and so forth is there has to be a dialogue. There seriously has to be a community dialogue on on race, okay, on racism, okay, nothing more, nothing less. It has to be on racism because it's obvious to me that, and I watched this on C-SPAN the other day, okay, I don't know if anybody can get C-SPAN, but I watch C-SPAN when it has its live things going on. And when I watch C-SPAN, I see, this beautiful black sister sit up there, and she's holding the show, and all of a sudden, this white guy gets on the mic, on the phone, and he starts saying, "I'm a racist. I have been doing it all my life. I just want to know, how do I become, a better American?" Okay, first and foremost, white guy who did the admissions and so forth, sure. And this could go out to all the rest of you and so forth that are basically watching this show and are not paying attention. Okay, first and foremost, learn black history. Have some black people in your house. That sort of thing. Communicate, respect them, and they will respect you. Same thing. We got forced in. We were forced into in supplication of that and everything. And that's what kills me, is that we are so inept when it comes to being where we're supposed to be in history. Okay, we're so inept on how we give our respect and how we want people to respect us, but we put too much emotion behind it. So when the dude asked, "How do I become a better American?" and the old girl gave up the one-ups and everything, here's the situation. Here's the easy way of doing that. First of all, stop trying to be an American. That's the first mistake. The second one you need to do is learn how to be a human being. Okay? It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. It is not spelled out in the Bible. It is something that you're supposed to know as a human on this planet. This is your planet Earth, okay? This is your planet Earth. You're supposed to act like a human. If you don't know how to act like a human being, guess what? No one's going to respect you. No one cares about you. What you have inside you is what comes out, people. My wife tells me that all the time. And, I got to give praise to Allah, Jah, for my first breath in the morning, for the talent and the courage He gives me each and every day to seek new opportunities, and for my rest at night for doing the best job that I could possibly do to love and protect the ones I love. Okay? But and most importantly, I love my wife. Okay? She makes me a better person. All right? Whether she's home or whether she's away. It does not matter. Even when I think about her, I think about what she would say in this particular situation. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to live? She's my first and my last breath every single day. And sometimes she doesn't communicate that back to me. I don't communicate that back to her. I try to make it real as possible. So I live how I walk. Okay? I walk the talk and I talk the walk. I do it all, baby. I do exactly what I'm supposed to do. And I'm never going to stop. Okay, so never quit, never stop. If you really want to know, the ballast of such eternal things and so forth, you have to look at why, Donald Trump and all this crap that's going on about racism and everything's happening. Okay, so I guess the epitome of it and so forth, because we got close to 80 some odd days before the November elections come up, and here's something that really cracks me up. Okay. AFI is the American Film Institute, okay? A completely white establishment, okay? It's an establishment. It is a nonprofit too, okay? People, you guys got to learn to challenge these nonprofits and put them out of business, or help them make changes on their board as an advisory committee. Try to get on as advisory, that sort of thing. But here's what I find really, really stupid, okay? AFI is not releasing the film as they would call, say, let's see, what's that daggone thing? But D.W. Griffith made that film a billion years, Birth of a Nation. How they basically said, okay, this is how black people are going to come here. We're going to treat them. We're going to make them sellouts in front of their own people. We're going to rape their women. And then we're going to chastise them for the rest of their lives, and they're never going to see justice. Okay? That sort of thing. And only can the white man save the black man in that particular film. Now, if you've seen the D.W. Griffith film of it and so forth, you will know that most of these people were blackface. Okay? At the particular time, they were not hiring blacks to play in any kind of movies whatsoever. However, we did make the first science fiction horror movie for black people long ago, in 1936. Check it out. It's on YouTube. You can find it. I watched it before. It's a little draggy, but, it is a first for its kind. Innovative. Very innovative. I got to get my tea here, baby. Straight up. So, for people who don't know their histories, you should really dig into our history and see what you're missing. Okay, it's not about Wu-Tang Clan. It's not about LL Cool J. It's not about all the threads we wear, our attitude, or how we do this, that, and everything else. It is our premise of survival and communication that keeps us running. And the reason why we now have it as recorded history is because we've been told a million times that we don't have a history, that our history is oral. Things and traditions that we have passed down from generation to generation to generation have been ignored. Okay, and now that it's all recorded and we have the level playing field and the access to do it and so forth, people are now trying to come out and say, okay, we're trying to be transparent, but guess what? We're still stupid. And who better stupid than Donald Trump? Okay, dude. It doesn't matter how you spend like $8.4 million to digitally retract from the crap that you've already said. Okay, it's not going to help you. You're going to run bankruptcy by the time you get to the end of this whole thing. Okay, you're not going to win because Hillary's got you by 10 points, at least 10 points, homeboy. 10 measly points. Okay, and that's sad. That's sad for anybody that, like, you know, comes up there and uses fear and racism and paranoia to whip up white crowds only. Okay, unfortunately, you know, white people didn't build America. Okay, it was done on the backs of the Irish. It was done on the backs of slaves. It was done on the backs of Indians. So if anybody that's got claim to this damn country, it's those three groups of people. And if you ain't Irish, okay, if you ain't Irish, or if you ain't black, and if you ain't Indian in any kind of way, or Native American as they would call it, then shut up. Okay, you got nothing. You gets nothing. You ain't got anything coming. Okay, and what better premise than to say that the birth of a nation is up for contender as Oscar contention before it even viewed? That is so asinine, but that is white Hollywood. Okay, they'll get over dang near $150 million a year for urban renewal, and where in the hell are the poor people living at when you got twice as many kids living on the street? Answer me that. Okay. How is it that you can have an industry where the only depictions of black people that ever get an Oscar nomination is for slavery or criminality or servitude? Nothing, you know, in science fiction, nothing in fiction, nothing in Lifetime stories or anything of that nature. Okay, nothing in the genre. Okay, I mean, come on, The Color Purple. Who got the Oscars? Steven Spielberg. None of the actors, right? Oh. Okay, what does that tell you? Okay, what does that tell you? That should tell you right then and there that we should be able to make our own venues. We should be able to have our own venues. We should be able to change the course of this, you know, magnetic surface that you call entertainment. We should be able to entertain ourselves just as well as they do in Bollywood, just as well as they do in Nollywood. Okay, just as well as they do in China. Just as well as they do in Japan, which seems to be our imports right lately on Netflix. Think about it, people. You go to the foreign films and so forth. You see Italian films. You see, you know, all these different films, but you don't see nothing made here. Nothing made here by the common people who have talent. Okay, and when we do, everybody likes to jump on the bandwagon at the last damn minute. Thanks for discovering. Thanks for the discovery. Learn to support your heroes before they become zeros. Okay, so, you know, support the zero, make them a hero. That way they have a platform to stand on. That way they have a foundation. But if the guy has to build it or the girl has to build it by themselves, guess what? Don't come up and say, "Oh, can I get on? How can I be down?" Oh God, I know it sounds a bit arrogant of me and so forth, but guess what? That's the way the system is rolled up. And guess what? We do it all damn day. Because we're ignorant. We're ignorant to that particular sense. And we keep doing it because we see it projected on us every single day. So stay away from the media that shows, you know, black and brown people doing the most crime, where white people are basically just not getting showed about their criminality at all. Okay? Who rapes and ravages and calls us savages? Think about that one. All right? So, if anything, Fred Gein is still alive. All right. But in that particular sense and so forth, I got one relatable story to this whole thing. All right, and this happened long ago by the name of Wyatt T. Walker. Okay, now many of you don't know who Wyatt T. Walker is, but in the South, especially in Virginia, a lot of time there was a lot of segregation back then. Okay, so as I get this from the Washington Post by Deneen L. Brown. Okay, she posted this from the Washington Post. In Richmond, Virginia, on a cold day in 1960, a fed-up Wyatt T. Walker led a group of protesters through the whites-only entrance of a Petersburg, Virginia public library. Okay, Walker, the pastor of the historic Guilford Baptist Church, calmly walked to the library's counter and asked for a biography of Confederate General Robert E. Lee. Okay, he says, I was rubbing it in their noses a little because I always felt Robert E. Lee was guilty of treason and should have been arrested and put in prison. Said Walker, now 87, but the South made such a hero of him as it does Donald Trump. Ooh, see the similarity here? Okay, his attempt to borrow Robert E. Lee, a biography, volume 1 by Douglas Southall Freeman on February 27, 1960, was interrupted by shouts. And he heard somebody say, quote unquote, this is his own words, he heard somebody say, the niggas are here. Recalled Walker, who would later serve as chief of staff for the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Quote unquote, he says, they called the police and arrested those of us who would not leave. They took us to the Petersburg jail, and that stirred up the community. Along with the ringing tone on my phone, which I forgot to turn down earlier. Okay, cool. Now that that's turned down. Okay. In continuance with that, and it was the first of Walker's 17 arrests for challenging segregation in Virginia and other parts of the South. An era vividly chronicled in the Smithsonian's new National Museum of African American History and Culture, which opens September 24th. The Petersburg Library's sit-in will become a catalyst for desegregating the small city's lunch counters, bus terminal, restaurants, and swimming pools. Were they courageous? Maybe so. Okay, maybe so. Walker said, quote unquote, but we didn't think about fear. We wanted to get rid of segregation. It was so humiliating to be an African American in those days. Tapped by King to be the first full-time executive director of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, Walker challenged Jim Crow in Mississippi and Alabama. He and King were arrested during a 1967 protest in Birmingham and spent 5 days together in jail. Walker smuggled in a tiny camera, taping it to his leg. In their cell, he took a photo of King gazing through the steel bars that became an iconic image. King snapped a photo of Walker looking out the same bars. 6 months later, King was assassinated in Memphis. Walker spoke about the events that defined his life and redefined the country in the community room of his assisted living complex, which he navigates with the help of a wheelchair. His wife, Teresa Ann Walker, 89, who was jailed alongside him in Jackson, Mississippi, sat nearby with one of their 4 children, Robert Walker, 60. She still lives in their home just south of Richmond and visits her husband every day. Okay, so let's see. Wait a minute. Hold up. His wife is 80 in the community room of his assisted living complex, which he navigates through. Wyatt T. Walker is one of the few civil rights movement strategists still alive. He was born in August 16, 1929 in Brockton, Massachusetts. His father, who was a minister, and his mother, who was a nurse, moved the family to Merchantville, New Jersey, where Walker grew up as one of 11 children. When Wyatt was young, he and his 2 younger sisters desegregated the town's movie theater. He quotes, the picture playing was, quote unquote, the great lie, he recalled. Walker's father had a huge influence on him. Quote, he says, he was what they call a race man. Walker said, he resisted anything that discriminated against you because you were African American. He was very outspoken against it. In 1946, Wyatt Walker moved to Richmond to attend Union University, graduating magna cum laude with a bachelor's degree of science degree in chemistry and physics. He went on to Virginia Union Graduate School of Theology, where he met King during a student conference. Years later, as Walker led integration efforts in Virginia, King called to recruit him. Quote, he asked me to become executive director. of the SCLC, the civil rights group King and other ministers had founded in 1957, Walker recalled. And I told him whatever he wanted me to do, I would do it. On May 24th, 1961, the Walkers and dozens of freedom riders boarded buses heading for Jackson. For the first time, Walker said he felt fear. Quote, back then, Mississippi, he says, was more dangerous than anywhere else. He said, the lynchings, the students killed, so many bad things had happened in Mississippi. When the bus arrived in Jackson and the riders got off and walked into the terminal waiting room reserved for whites, he says, we weren't there 5 minutes before we were arrested, he said. His wife, Teresa, was arrested too. He also goes on to say, it was a terrible experience, she said. And she says this, okay? I didn't talk about it for 30 years, then I found my notes. On a thin piece of paper, Teresa kept copious notes in blue ink detailing their incarceration. Breakfast, grits, black coffee, no toilet articles yet, no phone call yet. The jailers divided the Freedom Riders by race and gender. And she goes on to say, there were about 14 of us in a cell for 2 people. Teresa recalls, some slept on the floor. The mattresses were dirty. The toilet was open. People walking by the jail could look in. If you wanted to shower, the water was cold. If you wanted to drink, the water was hot. The jailers slid food on a tray underneath the door. At night, while the girls were sleeping, bugs were crawling on the girls, she said. During the day, the Salvation, Erica and Neil, thank you. Happy birthday, babies. Happy birthday. Let me get on with what I'm doing here. Okay. And the jailers would always tell us to be quiet and shut up. A week after a week, the Walkers were finally allowed to make a phone call. Teresa Walker was desperate to make bail and get out. Okay. I don't know who wouldn't. Okay. Quote unquote, she goes, someone told us they were going to move us to the state penitentiary and Marshall, Mississippi, where at least 300 freedom riders were eventually held. And when you got to Parcham, she said, they did vaginal searches with no gloves. I had children. They managed to get word to King that they needed help to get released. The following year, Wyatt Walker traveled to Birmingham to prepare for Project C, which stood for confrontation. Quote, Dr. King said, if we could crack Birmingham, Walker said, we could crack the South. He and others called the city Bombingham because it was so segregated and so hostile to blacks, he said. Churches and houses were bombed by racists. That's funny. That strikes me as irony because it still happens to this day. Okay? And remember the little white boy racist that basically shot up 9 people in the Baptist church and got his ass beat? Think about it. Okay? They all presided by Bull Connor, the city's feared public safety commissioner. Okay? Him and Strom Thurmond basically hold the same irons when it comes to segregation. Okay? And if you don't think so, that man was. I like that. I like that position on it and so forth, because when I'm in Compton, everybody's looking for me, but they don't know who I am. Therefore, Compton, if you want to keep me there, I suggest you better come by and see me. All right? That's plain and simple. If not, stay where you are, hiding under your covers, because I'm not about to stand around and watch you suffer. Okay? Warehousing is coming. On forward and onward. The demonstrations in Birmingham became the turning point for the civil rights movement. On Good Friday, April 12, 1963, King was arrested and spent 8 days in jail, where he penned his famous essay, Letter from Birmingham Jail. It is often illustrated with the photo taken by Wyatt Walker 4 years later, and I will post it up on Facebook today. Okay? 2 weeks after King's release, hundreds of black children streamed out of the 16th Street Baptist Church to demand integration, and were met with fire hoses and snarling police dogs, images that shocked most of the country. President John F. Kennedy warned that the events in Birmingham, quote unquote, have so increased the cries for equality that no city or state or legislative body can prudently choose to ignore them. The momentum from Birmingham fueled the March on Washington, which took place on August 28, 1963. Walker walked the mall as the day broke and watched black and white marchers gathered by the tens of thousands along the reflecting pool. They wore crisp dresses, strings of pearls, and pressed suits, and many carried signs demanding justice. Walker made one decision that day that he still regrets. Quote, I tried to persuade Dr. King not to use the I have a dream speech. He said, I've had heard it so many times I thought it was trite. But all ministers have what they call a going home point, a strong closing to a sermon. And that was his. Mahalia Jackson, who performed How I Got Over, whispered to King, tell them about the dream, Martin. Okay? And that is something that a lot of our parents don't realize. A lot of our parents here, because most of us are from Generation X. Okay? We're Generation X. Our parents never told us anything about that. Our parents were too afraid to. Mine were. Okay? So much is the fact that they chose ignorance over substance. Pretty much what like a lot of kids are doing right now. They're choosing ignorance over substance. And as more as you go into it and so forth, guess what? Politics is going to get in your life and you're going to hate it. Better get out there and vote, people. Better get out there and vote, because this is what it's all about. This is what this is all about. This is what it comes down to, people. It comes down to voting. And if you don't vote, shut up. You just lost your rights again. So Walker walked the mall as day broke and watched black and white marchers gather by the tens of thousands. And so the ministers have what they call the going home point, and that's what it was. It was the dream speech. Walker recalled King swinging into his closing, his voice rising in his trademark oratorical style. Walker watched the crowd's reaction as King described a world without segregation, without racism, without injustice. He was speaking on equality and the equity of it. Something which still eludes us to this day, but yet we still think we have it because we are mass consumers. Somehow that equation is asinine. It really is. I don't care how much the Jordans are. I don't care how good you look in somebody else's suit. We got to learn to make suits like that. We got to learn to make our own designs. We got to learn to become manufacturers. We got to learn how to become suppliers. We got to learn how to stand on our own. And that is what Marcus Garvey always said. But yet still, we're too lazy. We don't have those opportunities. We don't fight for those opportunities. We don't go in swinging for those opportunities. I don't think that we don't have the opportunity to do the exact same thing that the future is eluding us now. And if so, why are you still following behind the dictum? If you're still following behind that dictum, this is what you'll get. I rest my case. In conclusion, Walker recalled King swinging to his close about segregation without racism and without injustice. Quote, it was a word stage moment, he said. And Walker concludes, and it forever changed the people who heard it then and in the decades to come. Basically, this is the second story in an occasional series on people connected to the figures or events or featured in the Smithsonian's new African American Museum of History and Culture, which opens September 24th in Petersburg, Virginia. I would suggest all of my Virginia fans out there to go out there and check it out, before the summer ends, or, get a school bus to do that. Get on a tour, go out there and see these sort of things and whatnot. Read about how the black towns that were established by free slaves after the Civil War are dying out. Okay? I come from a large group of Sykes and Masons, and when we do have a relative that's a mayor, pretty much one of the first Masons to actually do so in our generation. So we do have political figures and whatnot on the East Coast. So not only that, but in the far East Coast and whatnot, we do have presidency in Nairobi or mayorship in Nairobi. So yes, I come from a long line of royalty, and we're very astute on our politics and not only that, but we're also, so if anything, I come from a very, very long background. You know what I'm saying? Very good background at that. And, can't nobody deny me what I've been doing or deny me how I do it. But I can tell you this much. We got to learn to do better. We have to strive to become better people. If we do not, guess what? We're all going to be sitting up here looking like, eggs on spit. Okay? Straight up, eggs on spit. And if you want to look like eggs on spit, that's your fault. That's your problem. That's your problem. Okay? One of the key things here that I like doing and so forth is like reading off announcements. So we're going to go into that because we're past the halfway point. I like Fridays at the hut because I can freestyle it a little bit and whatnot and adjust and go on and do the things that I like to do here. So here at the I believe which is going to be on the Thursday. It's going to be Thursday, September 8th. Register. You guys can register by September 8th for the Pathways to Corporate Boards series. Hear from executive search firms that recommend directors to corporate boards. So therefore, the registration is for September 8th. And therefore, that means by Thursday, September 15th, which is like about a week right after it, there will be a class for that. Workshop panelists will include Larry Taylor, chairman of the board of the Ktng Group, Bridget Frankel, practice leaders of Spencer Stewart, Caroline Nahas, partner of Korn Ferry, and Edward Savage, managing director of Staten Chase International. For more information, contact their office at 213-346-3291. Again, it's 213-346-3291, or go to events at aabli.org. Again, it's events at aabli.org. Well, let's see. Well, I guess there's some other stuff here. I got a lot of information on stuff here that I went to this whole thing, and I really like what I got here. Okay. And if you guys actually need a copy of this thing right here, and this is like regional offices and federal offices to the HUD grant programs for nonprofit organizations. So if you want to find things about affordable housing, stuff to do for the disabled, elderly, the homeless, put on home ownership classes, work with people who have AIDS, do public housing, rural housing, or anything of that nature, your best bet is to get a hold of, say, the national offices in Washington, D.C. And they do have regional offices here on the West Coast in the San Francisco district. And their regional office is on 600 Harris Street, 3rd floor, San Francisco, California, 94107-1300. Their office number is 415-489-6400. Again, that's 415-489-6400. I'm going to have to go back through YouTube and download what I'm doing here, remix it, and then put it on at 1 o'clock today, so this way you guys can hear this information again. And let's see, all the job notices. I didn't get any job notices yesterday, so unfortunately I have no jobs today. But I can tell you this much. There is a Slate Z Promise Zone update, which is happening, and it is encompassing about 200,000 people. And when I looked at the statistics and everything, it shows that in this zone that I'm actually living in the Slate C zone, we have a 75% rate of poverty. Okay, a 75% rate of poverty, in which we are encompassing the high schools, none of the grade schools or kindergarten schools or anything of that nature. It does not include housing for that matter, but it does include services and resources that need to be built here. That's all good and that's all good and said. But I hate to be a down in the mouther on this, but unless there's adequate housing for those that are in poverty, what good are those resources? That I have to ask. And Current Price, I'm gonna have to call you on that real quick, and I may get in contact with you next week and let you know that yes, you're on the air, and I'm going to get some words from you up on this and see why this sort of thing does happen or what's going on. But if you're in the the new ninth, as he calls it, you can reach his district office at 4301 South Central Avenue in Los Angeles, California, 90011, or call his district office at 323-846-2651. Again, it's 323-846-2651. Blow up his phone and let him know what's the deal with housing out here. Okay, because there's a lot of people who are not included in the Slate Z, such as Skid Row, which needs a lot of restructuring. Weingart was there to was at the symposium, the Funders Summit, And of course, Weingart has the Weingart Center. However, they do grants for projects and so forth, and a lot of projects that are not focusing on, low-income housing for people who have mental issues, low-income housing, period, for individuals, okay, not couples, individuals, people who are destined to live alone, okay. I myself and so forth am not trying to live alone and everything. That's why me and my wife decided to get married in the springtime, so you're all invited, okay. I think 9 times out of 10 will probably be on the beach, but I'll make sure that you guys get that notice, and be the newlywed that I'm supposed to be, that sort of thing. And I thank God for that. I thank Allah for that. Also, there's a good thing here that I'd like to give you guys a shot at. USC Good Neighbors campaign is an opportunity for all members of the Trojan family to support transformative, long-lasting collaborations between university faculty, students, staff, and neighborhood schools and nonprofits. 100% of their proceeds support community programs, and this is a good thing. If you want to get involved with that, your best bet is to get a hold or to donate, and to visit their websites and so forth and get a lot more information than what I have here. Is the USC Good Neighbors campaign at 213-743-5267. Or you can reach them at neighbors@usc.edu, all lowercase. Again, that's 213-743-5267 at neighborhoods at their website, neighborhood@usc.edu. So also I want to make a very good special announcement for educating young minds. I had a lady at the funders meeting, and she was very dynamic. She told the story of how she wanted to be just like all the rest of us who come out to Hollywood, be a star, be rich, marry somebody that's that's like makes you a better you, that sort of thing. But none of that happened, and she was like over 50 before she got married and realized her passion and dream, and she didn't want to become a teacher, but yet still she made 30 years ago of a system that educated kids, and now I'd say about 80% of the kids that she taught have all graduated from top level colleges with degrees. Okay, so obviously this woman knows what she's talking about. I'm gonna try and work with her. She's gonna like look at what I got and so forth and see where I'm going with it. And if we're a good fit or we're a good match, I'll probably wind up teaching media arts in another school. I've been offered another shot at teaching media arts and another nonprofit as well. So it seems to me that I'm going to be making a larger impact than ever than just in Compton. My whole thing is to bring everybody to technical speed on how we can produce and make our own dreams come true. That is what I'm doing. That is my impact. Give hope. And that's the best impact that I can possibly do for a lot of these kids out here who ain't got no future, who only see what they hear on the radio, who only see what they see on TV, okay? Who only dream of what is my next mission for today. Dan Fouts, good morning. This is not the quarterback Dan Fouts. This is somebody else. Good morning and happy birthday. And, that's the thing about it. As I go from here, I go into my morality corner. Okay? I go into my morality corner here on KTNG860am.org. And I like talking about the things that we can do as, proper, decent human beings. Now, for a lot of you and so forth, that means, do I have to be nice? Yes, you do have to be nice. One of the key and most central things that elude our youth this day is the fact that the prison culture, the thugism, and everything else out in the street lacks manners. You can't. What's wrong with you kids out here? You don't know how to say please and thank you? The shortest things in the world and whatnot. It's like, all right, open your mouth. Use common sense. Or does that come in a size 18 shoe that's rhymed up your butt? All right. Stop sagging. Nobody wants to see the crack of your butt. I'm pretty sure mama them took them damn diapers off. Right? Jeez. That's why you're wearing pants and a belt. Okay. That's what I liked about, that's what I liked about Shorty about this and so forth, because let me see if I can find her name, because she has them, she's in a film and whatnot, but yet still let's see. No, I don't have her name here. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I do. Okay. Angelus Echols Brown. Yes, Angelus Echols Brown. She gave everybody inspiration at yesterday's event. I hate to date this one and so forth, but it was inspiring. It was inspiring to know that you don't have to, kowtow to anybody else's wishes. Do your thing, but do it with structure. Do it the right way. Okay? You can't go out here and think you're going to get big money and you got about 4 or 5 kids and you just still keep having kids and whatnot. That's not money. That's just surviving. We need to thrive, people. We actually need to thrive. And this is our time. If we don't know how to thrive, the rest of our futures and our generations coming up will have less and less to look on forward to. For those of us who are making foundations, those of us who are, leaving legacies, leave a legacy of land. Okay? Take the money of your foundations. Buy land for those people. All right? It is my hope and my dream that someday that I make enough money to make sure that my people have land that they can control and that they own. And that land stays with them forever and ever. So I'll put it in trust for 2,000 years, and it cannot be touched by city, government, or state under any circumstances. And I will have it signed by, and it'll be up for signature each and every year. Each and every 10 years, each and every 100 years, it'll be up for signature. How about that? Lock down land, people, because that's the best thing we got going. But lock down land that won't go through any geological or crazy nightmare, such as Yellowstone Park becoming a super volcano, and we trigger the ring of fire and decimate the coastline of California all the way up to Seattle, Washington. Or, for bad weather, have bad weather and have the entire East Coast wiped out, okay? And the only thing left is Montana, It's the safest place to be, okay? That sort of thing. So I don't know if moving to Montana is such a good thing, but I know moving to Nevada is not, okay? Because my job is here. My passion is for these children. My passion is for these young adults who are growing up, still running the streets, still with not a clue of the opportunity, still without the moxie enough to understand and learn where they can find these opportunities. Okay, and I'm not talking about all of us who are 50 and over and so forth, who are just who have just gone past the last letter of stupid. Okay, all right. I'm talking about all of us who refuse to learn anything else. You gotta keep learning, man. If you don't keep learning, you ain't gonna never earn. Okay, the only time you're gonna learn and so forth is when your ass is sitting out on the damn street going, "Duh, what did I do wrong?" Okay, that's called eating humble pie. And if you like eating humble pie each and every time you stupidly make a mistake, guess what? I'm going to supply you whipped cream and say, here you go. Okay? If you don't want to learn nothing, that's your fault. But don't be mad at the person that basically wants to learn something to help his people. Don't be mad at the person who wants better for his people. Don't be mad at the person who wants better from you. Okay? Therein lies the fact right there that if you don't want nothing better for yourself, guess what? It's going to be worse for you than it is going to be for me. All right? I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. Okay? Because I don't have failures. I have setbacks. Okay? Like the pastor says, you cannot keep a good man down. Because behind a good man like that, there's always a good woman. And she's basically pushing him to be greater than himself. Not greater than God, but just greater than himself to lead his people from out of the diaspora that exists today. And if you want to keep living in that diaspora, go ahead. Support those slave films. Go ahead. Support the ideology and the iconic demagogy of Whitey saving the day. Okay? Go ahead. Put that bleaching on your skin. Like Lil' Kim did. Go ahead. Be a pompous ass. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just waiting. I'm laughing because I love the skin I'm in. I'm happy of who I am, and therefore I don't make no bones about it. Okay? So therefore I have to get a big shout out to my crew, my usual crew and so forth. This has been KTNG860am.org. But I got to give a shout out to the rest of the crew and everything. Who make things happen on the internet or on Facebook for that matter. And these are my guys. Tom Bailey from Another Mother. Paul Let's see. Okay. Paul Martin, my super brother from another mother and everything. I've been knowing him for like about 40 some odd years, man. For 40 some odd years, and we've been like the best of pals. We're both trailer trash, and that's what we're gonna do. My super homie, Erica Neal, thank you so much for being such a good lady and a good mom and whatnot. You know, I'm gonna wish you a big one I'm wishing you a big one on the air. I hope you're listening, honey. If so, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love your family. Tell your mom to stop being so mean. And who knows? One of these days, you know, I'll be able to get down there to you guys' church and so forth. But right now, I'm doing my own ministration up here because I have to, go through neighborhood to neighborhood to neighborhood to promote the first and only cultural network. Okay, I don't care what Oprah is doing as far as buying BET and all that crap. What I care about is the level of content that she's going to allow on that on those airwaves. And if so, she's trying to give us the same dribble that was on previously. Okay, she may know programming of her own stuff, but that's all it is a bigger platform to promote her own stuff. Okay, to have a big audience. No, this is how we have our own audience, black and brown. We got to learn to share the airwaves. Cool. We can bring our different platforms and our differences and so forth together in diversity. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you this over and over and over again. God plays no favorites. There is no segregation in heaven. Okay? Only the fact of religion separates us. The denominations of religion separate us. Whether you're Baptist, Catholic, Buddhist, monk, whatever, Jew, I don't care what it is. We all got to go back to the same source. So stop with the garbage. Okay? Stop with the garbage. We all worship the same God on the same day, and we're all on our knees at the end of the day. All right? So, what? Okay? So, to my regular crew overseas, Wayne, Cat Hamling, love you guys. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I don't know when you guys are going to see this or hear about this. All right? But that's what I'm here for. And also, Heidi, I know you're off Facebook for a while and so forth, but love you, dear. Come back. You're still family. Let's see. Also, Jesse Marquez, Paul Agnew, Jay Quan, my crate digger, super crate digger and everything, man. I love your insights and stuff. Luke Cage, Power Man. All right. Dude, you got to get up numbers. Sample this. Oh, I got numbers for you, Lisa. I got numbers. Lisa Arredondo, my hip-hop queen historian, so forth, who's traveled from point A to point B. We need to get her all the way out to Japan and so forth and see how. What we need to do on Facebook is we need to send Lisa Arredondo around the world to collect all the history of hip-hop. That would be cool. That would be cool. Okay? And Vanessa, you in your womanly ways. I love what you're doing. You keep it up. You keep it up. Scribe anew. What's happening, baby? You gotta get this doggone thing going and so forth. Danny White, how you doing, babe? Love to see you. Love to see you come up to, come back to, Cali and do what you got to do and everything. But I love what you're doing out there. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Let's see. Oh, Jaquan, counterpro agents of garbage, waste, doo-doo, trash, and some shit. I am impressed on what you do. That's double the props that I get. We got some noisy neighbors in the background and so forth who basically have no idea what the hell they're doing. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it what I got here. But in closing, I do want to wish you all a very happy and safe and wonderful day. I'm going to download this from off YouTube, remix it, and put it back on at 1 o'clock this afternoon. In between all that, I got a whole stack of work sitting on my desk that I got to plow through this weekend. I also got to get cat food. Don't make mention of this, but it's going to be a happening thing. And not only that, but we're also going to, I have Tai Chi classes on Saturday and on Sunday and so forth. That's when I'm going to be on my knees praying for a better world. And I hope you guys are doing the same too and so forth in that particular matter. Anthony Wolfbim. Okay. Ortiz. Anthony Wolfie BMW Ortiz. Good morning. Oh, and my man Frank Martinez in Texas. Good morning. You will get a girlfriend one day. Hopefully. All right. Okay. So, in that particular sense and everything, I do thank you all for coming into the Community Unity radio program known as KTNG 860 AM, the KTNG Morning Show. I've been your host, your galactic, intergalactic spastic. That's right. And more importantly, people, as I tell everything, and I live this on a time-to-time basis, sometimes I be too tired and I forget, but it's always good to be reminded in such a nice way of go to bed in love, wake up in love. Go to bed in hate, wake up too late. All right. So I always wake up in love, and I always try and tell my wife that I love her every single day, regardless if she doesn't say anything to me whatsoever. I still have to provide, and that's my job as a man. Provide. Her job as a woman, just make sure that I stay in my lane. Okay, but other than that, I appreciate what she does, and she makes me a better person, no matter what you guys think. All right. So in that case, I love you all. Y'all have a safe and wonderful weekend. Try not to get killed, or try not to kill somebody. All right, for that matter. All right, love, peace, and chickeries. Facebook, I'm out. I will see you guys later during the day with my post. All right, break. And everybody on YouTube, love, peace, and chicken grease. I shall see you all next week, Monday, in East LA. So, no, not East LA. In Compton. And we're going to try and work our way into Leimert Park sometime before the end of the by next month. So that way we can start on an expansion model and so forth, okay? So I'll see you guys then. Stay tuned next for the KTNG Compton Community Weekly Editorial with yours truly. Love, peace, and chicories. I'm Owzy. Oh, man.